What's up, everybody? We are here back in Strive again, as Frankie Beverly and Mays would say. We are here. B.M.B. Tell it like it is. With yours truly, Brent. We got my man Mel-Bone over there, and we got B.B. King, Braxton the King. What's up,
Mm,
fellas?
What's going on?
what's going on? What's going on?
Back at it again.
Back at it again.
Yeah.
We missed y'all last week, but we do have a show out there that is trending pretty good. So we hope that you like the information that we're inputting out there. And hey, we're here, and we ain't going nowhere either. Now, unless the law say so. So I don't know
Yeah.
about y'all, but I'm still kicking
Appreciate it.
with it.
Yeah. Keep watching them. Yeah.
So, but tonight we're gonna talk about a few things. Um, they say history repeats itself, so it's repeating itself once again. And so the second stimulus check is coming out, and they want to hurry and get the Republicans want to hurry and get this out before they take their August recess. But Democrats are also saying we'll work through our recess to make sure that the people are getting taken care of. So we're going to talk about the second stimulus check. We're going to talk about how Republicans are provoking fear. They're trying to scare y'all this election. They're trying to scare y'all. They're just trying to scare you. They just want to scare you to death. So you know how Trump is. They're provoking that fear, trying to make it seem like he's the only one that can fix stuff. But don't fall for the okie doke. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the 4 black women that are the top VP picks for Joe Biden. And you know, they said he wanted to pick one by August 1st or going into August. And August is right around the corner. So we're going to talk about the 4 black women that are on top, and hopefully so. We'll have that good representation of a black vice president going into the White House with Joe Biden if they take over the White House in November. And then we're going to break from politics. We're going to get into these sports. Man, Mike Tyson is here and back at it again. And he's going to have in the ring with him Roy Jones Jr. They are going to be fighting it out. Mel-Bone going to break all that down for us. And then he's also going to break down the reset of basketball and baseball. And we need it. The men's, we need it. With the brothers, we need it. We need sports back in our lives. And then also we're going to talk about the WNBA, how they are taking a stance against injustice and how they're just speaking her name, Breonna Taylor, and other black women who have been killed by the police. And hopefully, lastly, if we have time, we're going to talk about man law violations. Bruh, that's something you just can't do. We're going to talk about it right here on B&B Tell It Like It Is. Let's get into it. All right?
Good.
All right. So, what y'all got?
What's the first topic? What we gonna start with?
Well, Braxton, I just said went through the list. You wasn't paying attention.
Well, let's say it again. Let's do it. Say it again.
Okay. All right. You okay?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. I talked about the stimulus check.
That's a long list. I got lost. So you got to go back to the top of it.
All right, the stimulus check. That's gonna be the first thing we talk about tonight. That's the first thing I said. I don't know why you could not remember a stimulus check.
All right. So
gosh.
All right.
Don't you want some money?
Stimulus checks.
I think everybody does.
I think everybody want their money.
But how you gonna forget money?
Everybody want their money.
Okay. The Bible says, "Get your money, man."
What scripture is that?
We're going to come out of the book of rhythm.
Book of rhythm?
Yeah, book of rhythm. Yeah, the book of rhythm. Get your money, man. But anyway, the second stimulus check is coming, and they have voted, and now it's bipartisan where the Republicans and Democrats are agreeing that the stimulus check is coming back, and it's going to be the same as it was before. Every American making under $75,000 going to get $1,200, and if the higher you make, the less you're going to bring home. And then also, Melton, you brought up a good point. The weekly $600 they're going to take basically by the 31st. That's going to be over with. Mm-hmm. So What I do know what's going to happen. They did say for instance, if it's gone and they can't get a vote in on that, what's going to happen is if they vote on a lower number, which is going to probably be $200 to $100, which is that's what the Republicans are fighting for, and the Democrats are still fighting with the 600. And y'all's president wanted to put in the law, not law, but during this time, a payroll tax cut, which would cut you, which we put in the Social Security and Medicaid, which would also put it in to $1 trillion deficit in both of them, which would also bring an increase to your salary of about 7.6%. So that's not a good idea. That's just like a cheap way of helping you during this pandemic. And Senator Kamala Harris put her last bid in to put in a bill for $2,000 a month until 3 months after the pandemic is over. But they wasn't going no bueno on that.
Now I did have a question because I had heard a couple of different things about the second stimulus check. Now I did hear because at one point in time somebody said it was going to be more than the $1,200. But since they came to the decision of just doing the $1,200, but aren't they also giving out? Because the last time they gave $500 per kid,
right? It's going to be the same like it was before. So,
but wasn't there? I thought well, wasn't even if your child, I guess the last time, if your child was over a certain age, you didn't get it. But I think this time, if your child is, even if they're over a certain age, if you still claim them on your taxes or something like that, you get that for them too.
I think so. I think you're right. So what it is, if you're a married couple, that's about $2,400, and then you get $500 per kid. So I didn't know the age range before, but that's a good point. I didn't even know that, Mildred.
I don't remember hearing that. Well, they may have been. I just don't remember hearing
that. Right. I just keep the what I read about it and the reporting that I did on it was it said it's going to be basically the same way before. But to your point, Mildred, your president wanted to. He said he wanted the check to be bigger, but it didn't. I guess they didn't come to an agreement on that. So
y'all just make sure y'all tithe them. I'm giving y'all's offering.
Most definitely.
Will y'all get y'all's checks? Give to the church.
Give to the Lord.
But maybe another thing too. I think I know Biden had a plan, and where they were maybe talking about like giving more money to like some of the companies. I know there's people out here who don't have jobs. So not that I'm against the checks because I love getting that check. And it's still in my savings right now.
Amen.
If I get another one, I'm putting it right in there.
There you go.
So if you got that check, it's great. Like I love it. But people need jobs too, man. And so and there's other businesses out here who didn't receive those funds when the first time they applied, but didn't receive it. So I think too, they need to look at these businesses that need money. Maybe trying to get money to them too.
Well, just look at it like this: all those companies that got those millions of dollars with those loans that really didn't need it, and then these companies, these small businesses, are struggling trying to make it on the day end to end, and it's just it's crazy, man. And I'm just hoping that this second time around they can get a better handle on who's getting the money versus who's not getting the money. Because I mean, I can kind of get it because this was the first time something like this has happened. So you're not knowing what to do, but this time you know what to do now. You should know. So the only thing we can do is just see and hope and pray that people get the funds that are supposed to get them. I mean, but that one bill that Kamala Harris wanted to pass for $2,000, now that would have been real lovely. $2,000 a month, 3 months after the pandemic was over. But I mean, because other countries are doing that, I mean,
that's and that was and I think those countries is like $2,000
Right.
You know, until I think to the end of the year or something like that.
It's something like that, or it's at just like what she was proposing is 3 months after the pandemic is over. I
Mm-hmm.
think. Oh, all I can say on that is we'll see.
We'll
So,
see.
A lot of folks
10%.
think that,
Yeah, 10%.
right?
Go.
Braxton, you
I'm
you act
sorry.
like
Go.
you act
Go.
like you got a church and you want the 10% for yourself, bro.
But I ain't got no church yet.
Yeah.
I ain't got one yet.
And you and Bishop been doing some talking we don't know about yet.
No. Where your church?
Well, um, right. The church is in me. The church is in me, man. So yeah, we're not in the four walls of the church no more. So the church is in me, bro.
My bad, Mel. We cut you off, man. What'd you say?
Yeah, what you say, Mel?
I didn't forget.
Sorry.
Braxton trying to change subject. Let's stay on topic here, brother. Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna talk about fear. Y'all don't like to be scared, do you?
No.
No.
No,
So,
not really.
well, I can tell you this: Republicans are provoking fear into people in this election. They I mean, Rudy Giuliani is getting out there talking about Black Lives Matter, want to take your property. Trump got this ad out. I mean, and when I saw it, I had to laugh. It was an ad where it was this old lady. She's at home and she hears somebody at her door. He's trying to break in and she's picking up the phone to dial 911. And in the background, you hear saying, um, Joe Biden, he wants to disband and get rid of the police. He wants to do this to you. He wants to take away this, take away that. And then when the burglar broke in the door, the woman looked, she said, "Oh!" And it just cut off from there. And it says, "I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message." I was like, God, dog. I mean, it's crazy how he doesn't have anything else to run on. He can't run on a good economy anymore like he did before. So he's trying to provoke fear. And I hate to say it, they keep saying if he loses, will he leave the White House? Oh, he gonna leave one way or another, but he might provoke that civil war.
How you not gonna leave when you lose? How you not gonna leave the White House?
I don't know. With this man, you never know. You never can tell with this man.
Well, you know, the first time when Obama won, they were talking about they didn't think Bush was going to leave. They said it took him all day to leave out of there.
Really?
They said it took him all day for him to leave when Obama won that first time. I was like, well.
All I remember with Obama when he won, I just remember Mitch McConnell. I mean, they just celebrated Obama winning, and Chicago is in roar just celebrating, and then he's saying we're going to do all we can to make him a one-term president, which that didn't happen. But anyway, right. So they're just provoking fear, trying to scare people, get them to the polls to vote, and just to make it seem like Donald Trump's the only one that can protect you. I kind of find it hard for him to want to protect anybody where he's just now saying you need to wear your mask, and now we're up to almost 145,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus, where he just called it a hoax.
Yeah, who you gonna protect? He don't even protect himself. Like he only wore a mask once.
Right.
No, he just now starting to say, wear your mask. It's good. It's bigly good for you. Wear your mask. I mean, he seriously said that. I'm like, oh, okay. But it's like I'm not going to say it's too late, but why didn't you do this before at the beginning of the pandemic? You wanted to wait 5 months, and after 145,000 people have died from the virus. So,
right.
Yeah. From what I've heard, he's losing in the polls.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. And so he's probably, his advisors and people around him are probably talking to him saying, hey, you maybe need to rethink this masking, and cases in the South are going up.
Right.
You know, like crazy, and people are starting to die more now too. So
right.
Yeah, I think he's realizing he's behind the curve. So
yeah, he is. And but one thing about polls don't matter if we don't get out and vote. So because if polls mattered, Hillary Clinton would be president right now. So
right.
right now I'm really not paying attention to the polls. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more
enough.
people are woke too. I think they
I
realize
hope
what's
so.
going on. You know. Yeah.
I hope so, Braxton.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Moving on. Moving on. Because if I get to talking too much, you know how I get with that. So moving right along. So
Point number 10.
point number. Okay, all right. All right, he trying to
I'll just
get,
give you.
since my list was so long, that's all what he trying to say, people.
I'll
And
give
y'all
you a
might
hard
be
time.
agreeing what he's saying, but anyway, the 4 black women that are on top of the ticket to be Joe Biden's vice president. Um, there are 4 black women. Senator Kamala Harris, she was a presidential runner. Um, she is now I think she's the top number to be picked for vice president, but I think she ought to be attorney general if he wins. And then you got Representative Val Bennings in Florida. She, if you don't know who she was one of the top managers in the impeachment process of Donald Trump. Matter of fact, she was the one that was holding when they had to deliver it to, I think, to the Senate floor, whatever they had to deliver it to. She was the one that delivered it to them.
Mhm.
So, and then you also have Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's also being considered as vice president. And then you have Ambassador Susan Rice. She was the ambassador when President Obama was in office. So,
Mhm.
and Susan Rice has something more than these 3 other women have. She has a relationship. Her and Joe Biden, they worked together. So she was there all 8 years of Obama's administration. So she knows Joe Biden. She worked with Joe in the Senate when he was senator. So she has a, I don't know, man. I mean, I was going with Stacey Abrams and
Oh,
ended
so
up
she's not a Final Four.
I don't think so, because they saying that these 4 women that I just named are the top 4 to be on the list, and then I think you still have Elizabeth Warren. She's in there. A lot of people are pulling for her to be the vice president.
Yeah.
But at one point, Amy Klobuchar was being vetted, and then I didn't know you could dismantle yourself for being a running mate, but she took herself out and she told Joe Biden to pick a woman of color.
Mhm.
So what do y'all think about this?
I think, well, as far as that part goes, I think you can give her respect for that, for her being able to say, especially with what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that way, you what we- what we're all talking about, what we're all striving for, you'll be able to see it at the forefront with the presidential election. You have a president and you have his running mate, African American woman. So as far as that part goes, I think that's very respectful. Part is what she said, having a woman of color run with him. So
Right. I
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah. I think it's good too. I think especially I just think the especially with everything that's going on with the
Mm-hmm.
killing of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud, Arbery, George Floyd. Um, just it's change that's needed. We need
Right.
more people of color in these positions, where whether it be VP or vice president, and then even more women,
Right.
because we see how women get overlooked when things like this happen, whether it's civil rights or movements that take place in history. So I am definitely all for getting a woman of color in a position. I think it's going to be the best decision Joe Biden's ever made
Mm-hmm.
by doing that. I think some things are going to change too. Once that happens, whoever decides to go with the right one, I definitely
right,
think some things are going to happen and change for us.
and in,
That'll
and
be
in my
really good.
and in my opinion, I honestly, no matter who he picks,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they all gonna be rooting for whoever is there, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they'll probably all be willing to get some type of advice or counseling or whatever may be needed from the other ones. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a whole team. Because everybody know what the goal is. You know, so they're
Right.
gonna be all on board. And then speaking of, I was just talking. Speaking of what's her name, Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she just get or was attempted to get sued by her own governor for wanting people to wear a mask?
Right.
That
Right.
don't make no sense. Like, what are you doing? She's trying to protect everybody in your state, and you just want to just go over her head and counsel what she wants to do.
Right. Well, she's trying to protect the city of Atlanta, trying to tell people when you're out, you know, wear your mask. And he basically saying, no, you don't have to wear your mask. That's telling me you don't want us to live.
Right.
Right. It's like
I'm just like, what are y'all doing? And then
it's
all
in the
these,
best interest of them, you know.
right. And all these different, is a lot of, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people, but I've been reading a lot in the news where a lot of these Republican, some of these senators and representatives, they didn't believe, they thought it was a hoax, and now they caught COVID. So a lot of these Trump supporters, what's his name? The dude that used to be the host of Love Connection talked about how, I can't remember his name, yeah, but he used to be the host of the Love Connection. He talked about how it was a hoax and he didn't believe it, and you didn't need to wear your mask. Now his son has caught COVID, and now since then he's deleted his Twitter account.
Yeah.
So my idea on Joe Biden picking a woman of color, let's go back before South Carolina. Your campaign was almost dead. Your campaign was considered dead. And then Jim Clyburn in South Carolina came out in support of you. And then all them African Americans the whole state voted for you. Your campaign was brought back alive, Lazarus, by African Americans voting for you in South Carolina. So do you want to call it? Do you? Oh yeah, you do, Oh, you do, because and every state after that, in countless numbers, it's been African Americans that's been pulling along. You are not going to win this thing without the black and brown vote.
Right.
Right.
Vice President Joe Biden. So you say your campaign's going to look like America. Yes, I like that. That is good. But for your running mate, the second in command needs to be an African American woman. Because let's look at Doug Jones when he won that special election down in Alabama. 98% of black women voted for him.
Yeah.
Black women are the backbone of this party. And year at election, we keep pulling them out. They keep pulling them out. So yes, our voice is needed. And I just think it'll be so much better with a woman of color on your side to give you good advice on. I mean, it's going to bring out so many more people to vote, I think.
Right.
Especially with people like Keisha Lance Bottoms, who else? Susan Rice, those two women, they're still young enough. They could get a lot of those progressive voters out, especially Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Yeah.
And then I just really think with Kamala Harris, she would be a perfect attorney general. But if you pick it doesn't matter at this point. But if you do, I would just see her as an attorney general. But yes, it is time. It is time. So I'm glad he has 4 black women, and I think it's 6 altogether, and 4 of them are black.
Yeah.
So
even like the Democratic race, you saw a lot more women.
right.
And they were like more stronger candidates, and so man, it's just time. I think
down in Houston, it was like 17 or 20 women that ran for seats, and they all won.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you get a lot more women, a lot more stronger women candidates.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe the next 4 years or so, or next 8 years, we'll have a woman president.
Right.
And it could be a woman of color president.
Yes, sir.
At that, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. So we didn't talk about politics for the day, y'all. So we want to get that out there. Now we're gonna put it in the hands of Mel-Bone. Mel-Bone, what you got when it comes down to these sports? Was going because man, the bros need it. We need it.
The Cowboys.
Uh, um,
I don't
We
have
need
any
it.
news about the Cowboys. All that news.
you already know I'm side eyeing them, Braxton. They did Dak wrong. They didn't give him his long term contract, and yet
Man,
what you call it? Jerry Jones still ain't spoke out in support of Black Lives Matter or the recent events that's happening, and you have the title of America's team, and you still ain't said nothing.
I don't know what the Cowboys are doing, man.
Um,
I don't know what they're doing. They paying everybody. The dogs that
Nothing.
got paid. The person, the service people done got paid. The
yeah,
janitor done got paid.
Yeah.
and Dak the only one that ain't got paid.
They got paid, man. the
Tony
parking lot,
Romo even got more money.
the parking lot attendants got paid.
Yeah.
You got who was it? Chase Young got paid from Washington, and he didn't even play the game yet.
He didn't play the game.
He ain't played a snap. He just got paid.
He ain't got no tackles.
Right.
No nothing.
No tackles for loss. Nothing.
Yeah.
But he got his money.
Yeah. He got that. He went to the
Got that
bank,
money.
cashed the check.
And Dak don't have a long time contract.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we're.
I'm sorry, we didn't. Hey, Braxton was the one that brought it up. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
It's
Go.
all right.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. Like I said, well, I guess we'll just see. We'll have to wait and see. Keep waiting to see what's going on. But not only the bros, but I'm sure there's a lot of women who love sports.
True.
And we are starting to get sports back. There's the NBA doing warm up games, the restart of the NBA, the restart of baseball. The actual restart of basketball is the 31st, but they've been airing some warm up games to get everybody's legs underneath them, and so that's been going on. Baseball has started. Opening day was a couple of days ago. Had an opening day. Dr. Fauci was he actually threw out the first pitch in I think it was the Phillies game. I can't remember. I had to look to see which one it was. But yeah, he threw out the first pitch in one of the games. And so, yeah, sports are starting to get back. I mean, they've been showing some tennis. They've been showing some soccer matches. And if you look at these baseball games, uh, they actually have fans in the stands, but they're pictures. So, and I believe each stadium or each team has a portion of the website where you can go and submit a picture. And I think a lot of those pictures are the ones with people who are season ticket holders. They get a chance to, put their pictures, submit their pictures, and then they'll put them on their seats. And I think they pump crowd noise because I was watching the game earlier and it sounded like people were there because it sounded like people were chattering. So maybe they're pumping crowd noise into the stadium. But like I said, it's
How much is that
what
to submit a picture?
I don't know. I don't know if it cost them any money or not.
This is the NBA. It's gonna cost some money.
Well, I'm talking about baseball.
Baseball. Okay.
Now I think in the NBA, I think they were going to do something similar to that. I want to say somebody had said something like, "Well, they're going to submit videos or something like that." I can't remember exactly what it was. Because when you play sports, you a lot of times you feed off the crowd energy, and so now when you and especially in the bubble, in that gym, it's gonna be more like a rec game. So you're gonna have to really be hyped up, to play, So, but they're competitive, so they're gonna be hyped up anyway, and they want to win the championship, So it'd be good to see LeBron get his fourth one, greatness. Yeah. So
Get his fourth one. Oh, go James. Go James.
And then the WNBA has started back up as well. And the good thing, the beautiful thing about the WNBA inside of their bubble, what they call it the wubble with the W
right.
And so they are the WNBA is actually dedicating the season to Breonna Taylor and other black women who have been killed by the police. They all on the back of their jerseys and on every team, they have Breonna Taylor's name. All the teams have been coming out with their warm ups. The warm ups say her name and have say her name on the back, and I think Black Lives Matters on the front. And so every game that has been played at the very beginning when the national anthem was played, both teams walked off the floor, and they were off of the floor
Really?
they were off of the floor for the whole entire national anthem. And once it was over with, they came back out. And so these women are extremely unified. Because like you were saying earlier, women, especially black women, they don't get the credit that they deserve.
Right.
They're overlooked.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. They said the black woman is the most disrespected woman in America. And so I admire their unity that they have.
Yeah.
Maya Moore, I didn't know this until earlier today. She has set out the last 2 seasons in social injustice. I guess a friend of hers, or who got accused or sent to prison for something.
No, he was sent to prison. He
He was sent to
jail.
prison. And so she set out, the last couple of seasons, in honor of him, But I think he got released. I didn't get it. I haven't been able to find the video, but he got released, and she was there, when he got released, and they said it was a very emotional moment. So I mean, these women are 100% committed, and what their decision was about dedicating this season, to Breonna Taylor and other women who were slain by the police. So sports is back as far as that goes. Now, I am a huge boxing fan. Braxton is another huge boxing fan. And there's a fight that's coming up September the 12th, where there's a couple of old guys, but they were really good in their heyday. One of the guys is Iron Mike Tyson. I'm sure we showed his video on a previous show where he in the gym training, and he now has an opponent, which is going to be Roy Jones Jr., another guy with a big personality in his heyday as well. So you're going to have these two huge personalities getting in the ring. And I watched the video yesterday where it had their training videos side by side. And because initially one video I saw Roy Jones was just hitting the speed bag, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But when you've been boxing for that long, that's like riding a bike. You get your rhythm back, and then you got it going again. I was like, I want to see him doing some video like I seen Mike, where he was throwing combinations and hitting in the rings with the mitts and stuff like that. So in that second video I watched, they had the videos side by side, and they were showing both of them training. And I did see Roy. He was in the mitts, and he was doing some stuff, and so he looks like he's in pretty good shape. And in none of the videos he didn't have his shirt off, so I don't know how good a shape he is in. But you seen what Mike Tyson's body looked like.
Yeah,
he's solid.
He's in shape.
He's in shape. He's solid, and so
good.
And so it's going to be a very, very interesting fight, and it's going to be on pay-per-view. So they're gonna milk it till everything is worth.
Yeah,
and people are going to tune in because, like I said, both of these dudes have humongous personalities, and they had when they did a virtual Zoom meeting when they signed the contract, and they was talking noise right then and there. And so they was talking noise back to each other on a Zoom meeting, signing the contract. I was like,
wow.
So it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something nice. So I am looking forward to it.
I am too.
Both of them in their heyday. It's like, who do you pick though? Because Roy Jones in his heyday,
and a lot of people was like, well, Roy Jones is smaller than Mike Tyson. Initially, when he first started off, he was a middleweight, but he was I want to say he was he was a middleweight. I want to say anywhere in between 170, 175. somewhere around there. And then he went from middleweight to super middleweight,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ended up going to a cruiserweight, which is 190 to
And
like
I had never even heard of that till
right, because there's a bunch of different weight classes. Everybody always think lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
right.
Oh no, there's a lot of in between weight classes that they have fighters in. And so, like I said, he slowly moved up in weight, towards, later in his career. And basically, he ended his career at a heavyweight because he was over 200 pounds. And so, and I think Roy might be a little bit taller than Mike as well. So they're gonna be pretty evenly matched as far as height and weight go. It's just gonna come to conditioning, and it's come to who's got the better skill, because it is an exhibition, but they're gonna be in there fighting for real. They,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because neither one of them want to look bad. Neither one of them want to lose, and so so and like I said, they was already talking noise. So yeah, it's gonna be something to see. So yeah, I can't wait. Maybe we can do a viewing together, on the day. We can do a B.M.B. fight night or something.
Oh yeah,
That'll be we're gonna have to start. Okay,
we can do that, man. I like that.
Yes, most definitely.
We
can definitely do that. I wouldn't mind. I hop on the highway and come.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can definitely do that. It's gonna be something to see. So
okay, all right. You about to got, because you know me. Since COVID, I always had a fight party here at the house when it was a good fight.
We can take temperatures at the door.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can be precautious. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that most definitely, because you know how much I like to have a sports party.
Yeah,
just have to do it safely.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's and I think Meldrick, they may be starting some type of company where you'll see like more matches between like some of the I guess like some of the retired greats,
The legends.
some of the legends, but that are still like fit and in shape, and they can still, still active and still do things. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
what
good old George. So yeah, you're right. I was just playing about George for him, but it's funny when we were talking about basketball and Lebanon James.
Yeah.
One thing we've always talked about with LeBron is how he's always speaking out, and I've always loved how he speaks out, and we've always compared that to what Michael Jordan, where he didn't, and LeBron has taken up that slack. So I'm glad he has not shut up and dribbled, like Laura Ingraham said on Fox News to him and Kevin Durant. But anyway, I don't know if y'all remember back in 2018 when in Florida, when they was running the elections in Florida, it was an amendment in there, Amendment 4, to give felons the right to vote after they've been in jail. That passed. And since that passed, it would give almost 1.4 million felons the opportunity to vote. So that could change the projective in Florida. So what have the Republicans done? Hate to bring back pop, but it needs to be said, because this goes back to what LeBron is doing. It brings up, they are now saying you have to pay your fines, all your fines and your debt to society. You had to pay back all your past fines to be able to be eligible to vote. So
and they in prison.
No, they're free. These are the ones that are out of prison. They paid their debts to the society, but they threw something in there saying you got to pay your fines now. So what is LeBron gonna do? Him and his celebrity friends, they have put in $100,000, and it's probably gonna take more than this to help pay those fines. So I'm glad you brought him up there. I wanted to bring that up and put that in the show that, man, LeBron, he is, I have to call him King James. He's doing some things that need to be, he's speaking up. He did not shut up and dribble.
Yeah, shout out to
LeBron. Shout out to LeBron.
Yeah, when they interviewed him the other day after that game, he, they were talking about, asking him about basketball, and he was like,
Mhm.
you know, I love the game. He said, but the bigger topic is, you know, about social injustice. And
Yes.
he started talking about, you know, everything, and he was talking about how he hate people who call Black Lives Matter a movement. He said it's not a movement.
Hmm.
He said when you wake up in the morning and you black, that's your life. That's a way of life. That's who
Right.
you are. We are Black lives every day we wake up. That's who we are. It's not a movement. That's what our life is. So yeah, it's he said he hate when people say it's a movement because like I said, no, it's not a movement, it's an actual
And that
way
do
of
make
life.
you look at it different.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's not a movement. It's that's who we are. That's what
Right.
we are doing every day.
Yeah.
When we go out, when we wake up and when we go out in the public, we are black. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's been doing it for a little while now, and he's been doing a really good job. So man,
Yeah. And
I'm super
I
happy
just
for him.
wanted to, I forgot all about that, but I definitely want to put that into the mix of the show that LeBron is helping those all those people, those 1.4 million people that now thought they had the right to vote is now being taken away from them again because they don't know what their fines are. They can't afford to pay those fines. So
Right,
he's hit him and his team are setting up a fund to
right.
help pay for those fines. So I just love
Much respect.
much respect to LeBron James on that, and
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop because we need you.
Yeah.
We need you. So
Yeah.
thank you. Instead of
Thanks.
Michael Jordan saying Republicans buy shoes too. So we are getting towards the end of the show, and we wanted to pay tribute to our civil rights icons who have passed away. Reverend C.T. Vivian and Representative John Lewis, both from Atlanta, Georgia. Both passed away. I think C.T. Vivian he was in his 90s, 96, I think, and Representative John Lewis was 80. And this just goes to show that all our civil rights icons, hey, their time is coming, and we have to be the ones to step in and take over when they're gone. Because how many of them we got left now? You got Rep. Jesse Jackson, you got Ambassador Andrew Young. They're still here, but
Mhm.
hey, they're getting in age now, and we got to have the ones, all of us. And hey, I'm putting us in the mix. We got to step in and start taking those places of our icons that have fought the way for us to have the rights that we have now.
Yeah.
And you know, Representative John Lewis has a documentary that's out. It's called Good Trouble. Um, I hadn't looked at it yet, but I'm going to look at it after we get off from here. It's from what I've seen on it, it is a good documentary talking about his life and the fight for justice that he did alongside with Rem C.T. Vivian and Dr. King and the rest of our leaders that were in the fight for justice. And today, they had C.T. Vivian's funeral. Was it Friday? And John Lewis's family didn't want to have anything set until he was laid to rest. So they walked his body across Edmund Pettus Bridge today in Selma, Alabama. They had a service for him yesterday, and he will be lying in state at the state capitol in Washington D.C. next week. And much homage to him. I mean, I don't want to say both of them are not getting the homegoing service that they deserve due to COVID-19, but they're still getting their just due on what type of service they should have. But I mean, it's not going to be those thousands of people in service like it would,
Right.
like any other icon, like when Elijah Cummings passed away. So we just want to show our respects and love to our fallen heroes. They fought hard, and they didn't give up. Even when John Lewis was cracked in the skull, he did not stop fighting. So, lastly, I want to ask both y'all, the term good trouble. What does that term mean to both of y'all when you say being in good trouble?
To me, I would say you can almost take it literal. Uh, any type of trouble that does good, you know. So I mean, anything that it may seem like trouble because you may suffer some consequences for what you did, but what you did was leading towards something positive. You know,
Right.
leading towards change. It's just like when when they had those sit-ins, you know, they got in trouble for it, but it was for something positive. It wasn't for nothing negative. You
Right.
know, people Rosa Parks sitting on the back of the bus. She didn't want to move. It was for something positive. She got in trouble, but it was something positive. All those type of things and incidents that happened where people were doing stuff to make change, where they got in trouble, but it was for the greater good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, Mel, you pretty much said it, man. Like
Right. Right.
that was good to me. Uh,
I don't
but
need to say
yeah,
nothing after that.
pretty much just said it. But yeah, I mean, really, you know, it's kind of like you were saying, Mel. Like you know you're gonna suffer consequences. You're gonna get in trouble for it. Like like when you were younger, you get in trouble with your parents. There's gonna be some consequences for what you did. But in John Lewis's case, and then just the civil rights movement, they were doing, they know what they were doing was going, they're going to reap some repercussions for it and some consequences, but it was for the greater good. And I think we see the fruit of that. We're reaping it,
Right.
just in our life, and just blacks and
Mm-hmm.
minorities all across America. We're reaping the benefits from the foundation that they laid. And
Right.
so, um, I think we just got to keep pushing, man. We got the Black Lives Matter movement. They're starting up now, and then just people being awoke and aware, aware of what's going on, man. So, oh, it's great. It's good trouble, man. It's a higher purpose. It's something more, behind it. So it's a good thing. I guess a good meaning there. And like I
Right.
said, Mel, you said it pretty good. So
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah.
I don't think you can say any more than that with what you just said, Mildred. I mean, yes, the sit-ins from what Rosa Parks did that started the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Just think if she hadn't did what she did, that would not have this would not have started the civil rights movement. They call her the mother of the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
wouldn't have had Dr. King coming in power and taking a chance on life like he did. We wouldn't have had John Lewis or Reverend T.Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because what she did, she sat in that spot. She did not get up because she was tired.
Mm-hmm.
And not only was she physically tired, she was mentally tired from what we have been going through as African Americans.
Yeah.
And, you know, like John Lewis said, when something is wrong and you see it, he said, you ought to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And that video where we were looking at Reverend CTV, where he was getting in those white officers' faces saying, we are here to vote. We have the right to vote. We're
Mm-hmm.
not going nowhere. And that sheriff said, you need to turn them cameras off because I can't provoke the law on you, which would mean I can't punch you in the face because you got the camera shining right in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's good trouble. That is
Mm-hmm.
another thing of good trouble, getting in people's faces that need to getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
People going out there marching and protesting, they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
getting in good trouble, like Representative John Lewis said. And
Yeah.
you know what? The best way, everyone, listen to this, the best way to not let their lives be in vain is get out and vote. Because they fought against social justice, but John Lewis and C.T. Vivian also fought for voting rights, for us to have the right to vote. So the way for your life to be in vain is for you to use the excuse, my vote doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to do your research on candidates to get the right ones in there and then hold them accountable once they get elected. Even the ones that you didn't vote for, still hold them accountable.
Okay.
So this election coming up, go to vote.org. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good resource tool for you to use to see if you're still active. If you want to register, you can register. You can get reminders because you type in your address and it'll go to your state And then from there, it'll tell you if you're active or if you're on the rolls or not, because voter suppression is real. They're going to try. And it's Republican Party, they're going to try to suppress your vote.
Mm-hmm.
So use those tools, vote.org, to make sure that you're registered, to make sure that you're active. Because if you miss one election, they could take you off the roll. It's that serious.
Yeah.
So continue to honor these great men by voting, by standing up for what you believe in, by getting into good trouble.